went and ran our lines this afternoon. Caught this little mess of fish. White humpbacks. Everybody's been asking me about how I skin my fish and what do I do. And I guess people talk about how long it takes to skin fish and everything, but I usually don't skin just a few. That's just the ones I'm going to keep for whole fish. So I guess I'll do a little video on skinning or filleting catfish, because that's what we'll do with most of these, is fillet. But anyway, we've had an outbreak of this pollen. I don't know if you can see it, but that old pollen is everywhere. So I'm going to spray off of this yellow pollen. Little fish skinning table I got here, built on the side of my smokehouse. Water I have in the cooler. This is usually what I do. Well, we had just one small one that was kept just because he was about dead. But anyways, I usually will take my fish and kind of spray some of the slime off of them. These came off our no bait lines. I didn't run them for 4 days and they're about done with. Usually we run them only in cold water months, but anyways, I did take one of my lines up. I don't know what kind of fillet knife that is, but that's what I use. Found I got several. Got a case fillet knife. It does all right. It's just a little thin, but and just a Walmart case fillet knife. It does all right. I don't know what it is about that one, but I kind of like it. And it keeps a pretty good edge. I can keep it clean about 8 or 10 fish on one sharpening. Just keep a little stone here on my skinning table. But the way I do them, and I don't know why, but I'll take that fin right there and hang it in the table. I'll cut behind the gill plate there, turn my knife, go up and over that fin there. It's got a bone, you can't hardly get that out. Once I do that, just go down, flip it over, and I do it just like anything else. I take it in my table, I don't know if you can see it or not, but that board right there is about 1/8 of an inch above that board, so it kind of gives me, you can see my knife sits right above it. I don't want it flush because then you cut into the skin. I want to take off that fillet and also any of that red meat on that skin. So that's why this board right there is about just a little over 1/8 inch above that board right there. This board's got a cup in it. That's where my fish lays, in that cup, and I just take it and I kind of grab the skin and pull. It tears off, it's alright. Usually going through those. What I end up with at the end of the day, you can't really see it, but that skin has all of that red meat on it. So all I got to do then is just take it and cut that rib cage out, which cuts off that little fin if you have it. And on a catfish at the very bottom, sometimes you catch a little piece of that bottom. But what you end up with is a fillet with no red meat on it. So that fish, that right there is ready to go to the grease. Now, these fish don't have much of a red line. They're these humpbacks, and they don't have much belly. But anyway, that's what comes off of it. Get all that red meat off of it with the. I just throw that over to the side. Turn around and do it the same way on the back side. Cut it. Go over top of that fin right there. Go down. Catch that meat right over top of everything. Go all the way down. I stop about a ½ inch before the tail. Flip it over. Bring it up here, and I kind of, more or less saw through it, but I pull and cut through at the same time. And like I said, that skin comes off and has all that red meat. No good fillet meat. It's just all red meat that's left on there. You can see there's a couple spots that'll have the red on there. Turn it over. We'll cut these rib cage out. As you can see, the very bottom of the fillet's got that little, and the very top of the fillet's got that fat line. I cut those out. And when I'm finished, that's what I end up with. Like I say, you can see just a little bit of that rib. That ain't gonna hurt a thing. Get any of the white, go through the skin, take it, cut it off. Now, some people don't leave that red line in, so if you're gonna cut the red line out, all you do is go right down there beside it, cut through it. That piece right there is completely clean of the red line, ready to eat. And as you can see, that red line don't go all the way through on these humpbacks. That's just a very little old piece of red line. It does have a little bit of a stronger taste. If you want to cut it out, just take your knife and cut right down the side of it. Cut it out. That's all it is to it. Now you got 2 fillets ready to go. If you want to, like I said, you don't get much belly meat off of these, but if you want the nuggets, all you do is just cut up the side to each side of it. Bladder in there. I just pull it all out. When you finish with it, that's a filleted catfish. Got just a little bit that's left up here around that, which you can't hardly get around that old bone right there, but that's very little that you miss. On those nuggets, that's what you get if you buy catfish nuggets. That's all you're getting is belly meat. But what you can do is grab it by these fins on the back, turn it upside down. You got two pieces. Go down beside it, cut it off. So that's one nugget. Like I said, you ain't got much meat on these humpbacks. And that's the second nugget. If you want to take that old meat there, that old gray meat, you can take your knife and kind of scrape it, do that, and then it kind of leaves a little white membrane. But if you don't want to, if you cook it in hot grease, it'll burn it off. You ain't got to worry about it. But you can clean it just by scratching it with the knife blade. You ain't got to cut it. You get all that off. Now you got a clean catfish nugget. Some people don't like doing that. If you just take it, these, like I say, these are thin, but I can take it, cut on that side right there, take my knife, slide up the bottom of it, end up cutting most of it off. Like I said, I can usually just take my knife and scratch it, or just fry it like it is. It don't taste bad. But anyways, I'll go through again. We'll show about how I do it, how long it takes. real time. Side's done. Same way on this side. Cut all the way through the ribs. Don't even worry about it. Finish with, like I say, you got that one little old fat line at the very top. Fine eating right there. Like I say, you don't have much on these humpbacks. I don't even fool with it unless they're 4 or 5 pounds as far as the belly meat. Whenever I do them, that's how I do them. If I'm gonna keep some to cook whole, let me see here. There's one there. He's just about too big to cook whole, but whenever I do cook them whole, there's one that's a little better. That's about the size I like whole fryer. And how I do my whole fryers, it'll look about the same. I do skin my whole fryers. And what I do is just mark them 2 marks. One there, one there. Take my skinning pliers. First thing I always do is clip those fins, 3 fins. That way you don't have no chance of them hitting you. Pull down, catch that top. Get the belly, pull the belly up from the bottom side. What I do, I don't worry about that little piece on the top, because it's going to come off anyways. I reach in, grab my fin, clip it right there. Just make a clip through the backbone. Break it, pull it out, pull the head off. Usually I don't even do anything but other than grab the, right there at the butt, grab it, pull it up, pull those 2 fins out, use my fingers, run up through there, grab all the guts out, scratch them, pull all that out. Usually what I do is take my clipper and clip it right there behind that bone. Got a bone that's got a spread right there where that top fin is. Clip that backbone right there, grab a hold of it, and break it out. And grab that top fin, pull it out the same way out the front. So that's literally all I do, other than clip that one little bit of fat off the top. And that is a whole fry catfish. If I'm gonna eat catfish, that's how I eat it. You can do the same thing with these on that belly meat. Just take it, scratch it. You see all that gray comes off of it. It makes it just keeps from having that strong taste. Same way on this side. Just take your knife and scratch it. And you see all that, that's just oil. And they say if that's where the fish stores any mercury. If you get fish feed off the bottom, they're going to have some mercury in them. If you're in a place that has high mercury levels, that right there is where it stores it, in that belly. That's how I do my whole fryer. Only thing I do before I cook it, I take my knife, 3 slices, one there, one there, one there. Same way on this side. 1 slice, 2 slice, 3 slice. I'll take that right there, and the way I like to do it is mix yellow cornmeal, about 4 to 5 cups of yellow cornmeal, and about a half a cup of flour, some Tony Chachere's seasoning, salt and pepper, and I'll take that whole catfish in a bowl with a bunch of the rest of the wholes that I'm going to cook, and I'll cover them with honey, not honey mustard, but that Cajun mustard, spicy mustard. I rub them with mustard and then dip them in that flour cornmeal. You can't taste no mustard, but it makes that batter stick to it. Fine eating right there. I usually don't wear rubber gloves. I usually have a little pair of gloves up here that you can't, I don't know what you call them, filleting gloves. They don't knife can't cut through them. But that's literally, my wife says my hands stink after I clean fish, so what I started doing was putting a pair of rubber gloves. These black ones are real tough. I get them AutoZone, working on vehicles, but you can't hardly rip them unless you catch them on a knife edge or something. But take that right there, put these gloves on top of that. That's the way I do it. I'll do one more. It's a little bit bigger fish. I have taken them and just cut straight down through right there. Take my knife, go up and over that bone right there. Go all the way through the back. Cut it all the way off. And I'll show you how. It's a little bit bigger. You can take that knife and just run right up that rib cage. You got the whole fillet right there. Simple as that. That takes all the meat off of it. Leaves your belly. And what you can do on this, do it the same way. Take that fish skin and pliers, hold that end of the fillet, put your knife down, bring it up, and as I said, kind of pull it, rip it, pull it off. That pulls all your belly meat. You got a clean fillet. I don't know how else to explain it. You don't lose just a touch up at the top, but that old red meat's off of it. Your fillet is nice and clean. This in here, I got just a little bit on the bottom. There's that fat line I was telling you about on the bottom of the fillet. If you do it that way, you don't have to do nothing to it. As I said, that's all your red meat and your skin off of that side. And you can literally, I don't know, I just go straight down beside that rib cage right there. Go down the top of it. Around that backbone, that top fin bone. Just slide your knife down. Once you get down in here, stick your knife all the way through. You can slide all the way off the end of it, and then come back, kind of scrape up the backbone, kind of get all that meat off that you can. Just kind of, I don't know, I take my knife and kind of turn it like that right there. And that right there is a filleted catfish. Got just a little touch of meat there that I missed, but other than that, do the belly the same way. Like I said, it don't take no time to pull that meat off. If you got a good sharp fillet knife, just grab the end of it, put it in, pull it, saw it through. Got your fillet, got your red meat on your skin. That's just a solid piece of fillet. Good eating. I don't even cut that red meat out. If I'm going to cook them, what I do is I take them right there, I cut it, 3 pieces, 4 pieces, ready to go in the fry. On this one here, like I say, it's got a little bit bigger belly. Cut it down through there. You gotta be careful because you got that sack, gall sack, whatever it is. I don't know what fish bladder there. If you hit it, it'll stain your meat up and make it have a bad taste. So I'm kind of careful about doing it. I go underneath that rib cage right there and kind of cut up the edge of that rib cage. I'll go ahead and cut it all the way back to the back. What you end up with is just a catfish bone. Some people take them bones and cut them, and I don't do that. If I'm going to eat whole fish, I'm going to eat them whole like that right there. And once you cook it, you start up here and start peeling that back right there. That bone, it'll just pull straight off, eat all that. you take your hand and just pull that belly meat and it'll all come off in one big piece. Do the same thing the other side, you just got a bone. Got your nuggets here. As I said, you grab your catfish rear fins, give you something to hold on to. Put your knife down, slide it right off of that skin. Same thing on this side, slide it right off the skin. As I said, these are a little bit thicker, so I'll take them and put them down on the bench that way, and I'll come up the bottom of them, and it literally takes all that meat off the gray side, so we end up with a good nugget of catfish nugget. Same thing there, just slide your knife up. I just hold it flat, slide up it, take that gray meat off. If you want to, you ain't got to. Some people like it, some people don't. That catfish nugget right there, cut it in 2 pieces, put it in a pile. And that's the way I clean catfish. I had to guess I can do probably, like an average. If I get in a hurry, I can get about, well, I know we can do one a minute. I can do 50 fish, 60 fish an hour. That's washing them and cleaning them, so I guess I can probably do them one every 45 seconds if I got in a hurry. But anyway, that's how I do them. Ever want to go fishing and come help clean catfish? My boat's always got an empty seat waiting on you. So that's the way I do it. You can come over and help split some firewood too if you want to do that. About got the firewood shed empty. We added just a little bit to it a few days ago, but I about burned, well, it'll hold about 4 cords, and that's about what I burn a year. But got some pecan ready to split, so come on, go fishing with me, and we'll split the rewards. Alright, we'll see you.